being scared of a nigga that breathes the same air as me. Niggas bleed just like us. Picture me being shook, we could both pull burners, make the motherfucking beef cook. Niggas bleed just like us. Picture a nigga hiding my life in that man's hands while he just decides. Niggas bleed just like us. I'd rather go toe to toe with all of y'all, running in my protocol. We agreed to go and shooting is silly because niggas could be hiding in showers with Mac Billy, so I freaked them. The telly manager was Puerto Rican, Gloria from Astoria. I went to war with her peeps in 91, stole a gun from my workers, and they took drugs, they tried to jerk us. We blazed, they blazed, long story. Glow seen my face, got shook, thought a nigga was coming for the safe. Now she breaking, shut up, 112, what's shaking? A Jamaican, some bitches I swear, they look gay in a black Range Rover, been outside all day. If it's trouble, let me know, I'll be on my way. Please, I got kids to feed. I done see you make niggas bleed. Nightmares this bitch don't need. Wrong, get the gasoline. This spot, we bout to blow this. Get the cash before the cops and Range Rover cats notice. Room 112, right by the staircase. Perfect place where they evacuate. They meet they fate. Wrong, pass the gasoline. The nigga pass me kerosene. Fuck it, it's flammable. My hunger is unexplainable. Strike the match. Just what I expected, the dread kid ejected in seconds, and here come two opposite sexes, one black, one Malaysian. We in the hallway waiting patient. As soon as she hit the door, we start blasting. I saw her braids hit the floor, wrong laughing, I swear to God. I hit Maxie Priest at least 12 times in the chest, spit the round, shot a chink in the breast. She crying, headshots put her to rest. Pop open no briefcases, nothing but Franklin faces. Spots, hot sprinklers, alarm systems. That's when other guests start to slip in. It's time for us to get the dipping. I know them niggas in the ranges on their way up flipping. Pistol gripping, I know the clipping. The hallway got real loud and crowded. They walked right past us, I don't know how they allowed it. The funny thing about it, through all the excitement, their range got told they double parked by a hydrant. Stupid motherfucker.
Welcome to Carter's Corner Pocket where we feel the rocket. Today we're talking GameStop. Right now, this is the scene. The baby's screaming her head off in the background. My wife, I'm just waiting. I'm looking over there waiting for her to come. Probably staring. Anyways, Ryan Cohen. Quite the interview, 1 hour long. I don't have too much time. I have to take my daughter to her first basketball practice for summer. So I'm going to get right into it. What's up, Amber? I saw you over there. Who else is here? Hank Wood, what's up? Oh, yo, Dirty Randy sent me some jewels last time. I didn't get to thank him because I didn't see it. I was trying to speed through what I was doing, and I think there's one other person I didn't thank that sent me some. That was a while back. I have to look into it, but I'm gonna dig it up, and because I really do appreciate it. Like I said, any money that comes this way, it's out of your family's pocket and into mine. So very appreciative of it. So let's go. Here you go, Ryan Cohen.
So you clearly executed well.
And I'm just going through the highlights that I saw. I have about 20 minutes. So I know people have watched this many times over, and it's an hour long, so it's a long time. We have things to do. So these are the highlights I saw.
Help me understand, how did you build and manage the leadership team, the management team, and the people around you to execute so well? What did you learn as a manager, as a CEO, as an operator when you were building Chewy?
Staying on top of everything. Just it's 24/7, watching all of the numbers. I mean, I would stay in Google AdWords till 4 or 5 in the morning, managing campaigns myself. I was negotiating directly with all of our major suppliers. I had a supplier that told me during one of our negotiations, actually, said it was like a 1 year contract, and he's like, "I'm so happy this is over. I never have to talk to you for." Well, it was basically another year. He's like, "I don't have to speak to you for the next year." I was like, that was a compliment. And anytime someone else was doing the negotiation, I mean, it's counterintuitive. They want to build relationships with suppliers. The reality is it's mostly transactional. And so if our suppliers are sending us gifts in the mail, that's a really bad sign. It means we're overpaying. If our suppliers are telling us they never want to speak to us again, it means we're getting the right price. But getting people into that framework is not easy, because the path of least resistance is basically to get along and to be nice. But unfortunately, when you're building a business and you're losing money, you got to focus on sustainability. So just being on top of everything.
So that's one thing I saw. That's the first thing off the bat I saw. Ryan Cohen on top of everything, marketing, unit economics, which is shipping, fulfillment, shipping economics. That's a big thing. A lot of businesses they slack on things, and I can relate because I scrutinize everything, and he's constantly checking pricing, making sure he has the best economics because he said at the time Chewy was losing money. So there's no slack. There's no slack in the game. He's fully aware, self awareness, business awareness. He knows where and when he has to pinch pennies um, and run efficiently as possible. I like hearing that.
What about on people? I'm just trying to understand your skill as a manager of people, because clearly you did something right, you continue to execute at GameStop, which we'll get to in a minute. And I'm trying to understand, how do you find great people, and how do you hold people accountable, and what are management techniques that you've developed for building a team and running a team?
I look for will over skill. And I had a woman that was running customer service, as an example, and she came from, she was working in like an old people's home, and she applied for the job many times, and we didn't think she was qualified, and we looked over her resume, and she kept on applying. She was relentless. So on paper, she didn't necessarily have the right experience, but she had drive. She was motivated. She wanted to work, and she ended up being incredible. So, I mean, it was in general, it was finding people that are diehards, that are just willing to put everything in, go all in, no pun intended, and basically be as psychotic as me. And that was the team that we put together. It was just a bunch of fellow psychopaths.
If you just are sure you're locked on, you're that tiger, you're that lion, the zebra is what you want. Lock in, lock the fuck in. And that's, you want a psychopath, I'll give you a psychopathic investor right here. But I like hearing that because you have to be relentless. You have to be up all hours of the night, like he said. Now, the next thing I was going to talk about, he was just saying, and also today at work, I was having a conversation with some people. We were talking about hiring and how people are doing their resumes. Some people don't even know how to do resumes anymore. AI is writing their resumes. AI is scanning, sifting through resumes. So I mean, where's the human element to it? I like I know Ryan Cohen is going to add some of the human element to it, like the drive, the will to win, have those people around. My phone's like playing something. Anyways, yeah. So I know he's gonna look at that and look for that for whoever he hires to run business, to run GameStop, e-commerce, eBay, whatever he has envisioned. So the next thing I was going to talk about was going to be how Ryan Cohen was talking about. It was a funny story. How the CEO of GameStop called him and was like, "Are you going to file?" He's like, he owns 5%. Are you going to file a 13D or G? Or it's like, what did you file after you bought 5%? Because 13D is like, you're going to be an activist. You're going to try to make changes and change what management's doing. And he's like, I filed a 13D. And initially, he brought him on to be a patsy and just go with the flow and let management run the company. So yeah, and Paul Pressler too. Where is he? I have it written down. I was doing some homework on him. He's from private equity, Clayton, Dublier, and Rice. Um, they're the ones that were in the deal that bought Hertz, and they wrapped up all of the purchase price for Hertz is leveraged buyout. You know the deal. They took the purchase price of that, put it, stacked it on Hertz's balance sheet, and in the initial deal, they lined their pockets in that deal. Um, then after that, what else did they do? They strapped on debt onto the company nonstop, and then they could short it on the way down. And when they get out, they get paid. So they really don't care. They've already made their money off the initial purchase. So it doesn't matter to them whether the business does well or not. So yeah, let me see. Since I'm strapped for time, let me move it along. Um, Another thing. Here you go. 1950. My bad if I'm not reading the chat because got things to do.
From Chewy, which is basically like everything that I learned at Chewy, I was going to apply to GameStop. And it took me about, I don't know, maybe just over a year to realize that was really, really stupid. But I ended up hiring a bunch of e-commerce people from Chewy and Amazon. And I wasn't the CEO. I hired a CEO. So, I didn't have day-to-day visibility on what was going on. But the strategy was to make GameStop more like Chewy. And that was the wrong strategy. And once I became the CEO, I quickly adjusted because, I mean, I just, frankly, I looked at the financials and saw it didn't make any sense. And then it was, went into maniacal cost cutting mode, efficiency, basically focusing on what GameStop is really good at, which is the pre-owned side of things, and focused on running the retail business.
So basically, over here, he brought his Chewy game plan to GameStop. Did not work, so he adjusted it, and he was able to pivot. He didn't let his ego control it. He let the financials influence his strategy, and didn't try to force his strategy to work. Didn't try to force the financials to fit into his preconceived plan. So that shows a lot of awareness and pragmatism. So he just wants the truth out there. Whatever works financially for the company, that's what he's going to do. He's not going to have his ego involved. And ego came up multiple times in this interview. Ego as far as art collectors, which Ken Griffin is. That's funny. I think it's so stupid. I'd rather have a Pokemon card than Van Gogh or whatever. But let's move it along.
Very, very well. And then ultimately,
2650.
Q1 revenue was 835 million. You grew at 14% year over year. You cut SG&A from 228 to 202. You have 9.7 billion in cash.
Hot take: art is stupid. It's not stupid, but selling an art piece for like $50 million is dumb. That makes no sense.
333 million in free cash flow, and the board's just authorized a share repurchase. So it's pretty tremendous how you've operated this business. So help me understand a little bit as you're building GameStop, operating it and executing. What makes you lift your head up and say, hey, we should be doing acquisitions and looking at other things instead of just building everything organically in-house?
If you look at the size of the business that I can build organically with GameStop, it's nice, it's okay, but I like to do big things. And, Chewy is a good example. It could have been a $500 million business. It could have been a $100 million business. It could have been profitable if we would have spent a lot less money on marketing. But life is too short to do it small. So
I love that line. I've been talking. It kind of lines up with everything I've been talking about the last few videos. I have more of a as every day that goes on, I have more of a sense of urgency for myself, my family, my business, and just making it in this world and making it to where I want to be. And I consistently say that time is the most valuable asset that you have, especially. First of all, it's depreciating constantly, and you can never. No amount of money can buy time back. So life's too short to do it small. So you got to go big. Um, he's about to talk about how I might as well just say it. He said basically he could have stopped Chewy at 100 million, 500 million. It wasn't good enough for him. So his potential is limitless. He took it all the way to 3 billion. Um, how many people would have stopped at 20 million, 50 million, 100 million, 200? That's my point. He just has the drive, the will to just keep going and try to be the best that he can be. For me, as an investor, I love it because I try to be the best that I can be.
we have if you look at how complementary, and as we've gone into the collectible space, I've come to appreciate eBay differently. And if you look at how complementary these two businesses in from a lot of different dimensions, the secondary market side of the business, the collectible side of the business, the ability to provide liquidity to consumers, what we're doing in stores, eBay is doing online, authentication of secondhand items. There's so many aspects of the business that are similar, except that eBay is global and has significant scale. And frankly, it's a business that I understand a lot better than physical retail because I know a thing or two about e-commerce, and it's an area where, frankly, I'm much more comfortable operating. And so when you look at how much the businesses together make sense, and then you look at the fact that it's within my circle of competence, it's all, I can't stop thinking about it. So
That reminded me of this. I don't know why. That's eBay. Brian, yeah.
Precious Venus.
I look at
So,
Chewy as like Chewy in hindsight. We had a lot of competition in the pet space.
Okay, eBay, what else? I'm trying to scan through my notes and my timestamps that I wrote today. Of course, at work. My job's going to see this stream. How are you doing? I have multiple monitors I can work. I can multitask. eBay, yeah. Operating expenses of eBay, $5.5 billion when they make 11.1 million. That comes in at 51% of their revenue. Can you imagine that for an e-commerce business without any actual assets that can depreciate? Crazy. $2.5 billion of that go to marketing, which only 2.4 billion only brought in about 1 million new customers. That's all. Let me see the numbers somewhere. Okay, so from 134 million, 134 million users is what they started with. They spent 2.4 billion on marketing and only ended up with 135 million users. And not only that, to top that off, their eBay Live sucks, absolutely sucks. And Ryan Cohen wasn't joking. I went on eBay Live today. There's less than 100 people on like every single live stream. The interface is like clunky. It really absolutely sucks. Before even viewing a live stream, it's going to tell you you're going to get a pop up and it's going to block you from viewing the live. It's a pain point. It's a friction point. There's more. It creates more friction between the actual buyer and the platform. So it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. So they only brought in 1 million new users. And imagine they have 135 million touch points, as in users, and they're only having 100 people in a live stream. It's crazy. There were like 30 people, 80 people, mostly 80 people. Absolutely nuts and very funky designs. So, where else can I go? Okay, let me just get to the good part. So Ryan Cohen over here. So let's go. I love this interview because he gets into the short term, within the first year, the medium term, 3 to 5 years, and then the long term vision of the business for eBay.
One, and then there's two growth vectors that I'm very much interested in. Number one is live commerce, and there's a large competitor.
So he already said it. He said that immediately, which is the short term. I give him like 1 year, right? How the 2.4 billion only brought in expenses only brought in 1 million new customers. He said that he's going to cut the fat on that. He's going to bring down about $2 billion from the spend and immediately be cost cutting, becoming more efficient, leaning out the business. It's his game plan with GameStop, and he's going to do that immediately today. Automatically make a ton more money and fix the balance sheet.
Crushing it, and eBay has the users. eBay has the brand.
So yeah, so this is the medium term now. It's the live commerce.
eBay has the users. eBay has the brand. They have a platform, but the platform sucks for a lot of different reasons. And they don't have the content creators on the platform, and nobody even really knows eBay Live exists. There's like an application process. I talked to sellers, and they're telling me like they've applied to be a seller, and they are waiting to get approved. It's like they're basically stopping themselves from being successful and getting content creators onto the platform. And then the entire back end of eBay Live also sucks. So live commerce, the TAM is like 400 billion. It's growing very quickly in the US. It's very popular in Asia. And eBay Live should be significantly larger. They should be the category leader in the space. And they have like at max a few hundred people, basically watching their sales. So that's a huge growth opportunity for them to start doing really well in live commerce. And the benefit also we have with the stores beyond basically fixing the platform, the front end and the back end, using the stores, there's 1,600 essentially nodes that can be used as studios for creators. They could be used as fulfillment and logistics, and ultimately allowing sellers and content creators do what they do best. They just create content, and we can help them on photography. We can help them on fulfillment. We can help them on logistics. And we can also do the authentication. And that extends to the marketplace model as well. So I would focus a lot on growing the live commerce side of things beyond the cost cutting.
That's really cool. The e-commerce, because I mean that just shows you how much eBay's not tapped into it, how much potential they have, because they have 135 million touch points as in users and only 100 people on a live. Right now is prime time, right? And it's like 111 people hovering on live streams. And I just logged into it. I didn't even log into it. I just clicked on it on my other screen, and there were like 3 pop-ups before I even got to view the live. And it's asking for credit card information. Okay, 5 minutes. All right. But get your water and everything, okay, and your shoes. Thank you. Okay, so that's really cool. But right now, we're gonna get into the long term, and let me make sure. Ryan Cohen, I believe, he says it can be double what eBay's physical business is right now.
And then the third thing is, and this is something that I have not spoken about before publicly, but eBay today is the leader in physical items, physical collectibles, as an example. And so I would extend that into digital collectibles. And essentially, if you look at all of these in-game items, AAA titles that people are accumulating, skins, weapons, all of these things, taking eBay and building a marketplace where you can provide liquidity for in-game digital items. Essentially, it's what NFTs could have, people thought they were, but ultimately they had no real utility. In-game items actually have real utility. And if you look at all of these collectibles, frankly, they're an ego play. You own art, like, what is that? At the end of the day, it's an ego play. If you look at trading cards, I mean, it's a piece of cardboard in a piece of plastic, and they're very, very, very popular, but there's no real utility to them other than being able to tell people you've got a really unique trading card. But if you look at in-game digital items, there's no marketplace that is providing liquidity for them. And so I would use eBay to provide liquidity for in-game digital items. And I believe that addressable market is significantly larger than, could be much larger than eBay's marketplace on physical items, and no one's doing it. And this should already exist. And it's kind of like, it's crazy that it doesn't. It has been selling.
That's absolutely nuts. So Ryan Cohen can create a marketplace where, think about all of I can't even imagine how many skins there are, weapons, things that have been purchased in game in many different games. And you're going to have a marketplace for people to resell that. That's a ton to go on the marketplace right away. And Ryan Cohen has a vision. Did he say, am I crazy? Did he say double what the physical marketplace was? I believe he did say that, but that is absolutely. To close it off, I want to talk about, and he talked about he already had conversations with institutional owners, and the consensus is that they're leaning towards Ryan Cohen. You know, they want him, an owner, operator, to run the business, and they believe that they see great opportunities for eBay. Who are the people providing the opportunities, the strategy going forward? Ryan Cohen is the only one out there giving ideas, so it has to be Ryan Cohen. And these are the opportunities he's giving.
Millions of dollars. And, you know, the interesting thing in this, and maybe you can help me understand this, is that there's no question what we're doing, what I'm doing, is it's big. You know, it's not every single day that something like this occurs, but why does everybody want us to fail? Why does everyone want GameStop to fail? And why is everyone, like the media as an example, why is it that you've got a management team with no skin in the game? They're not builders. They haven't built anything themselves before. They've basically just been employees at major companies, have been overpaid. I don't think they've ever broken out a sweat in their entire lives. Why does everyone want them to succeed? But when you have someone that, and by the way, this is going to be coming out, it hasn't been filed yet. Maybe by the time that, you know, when this airs, it will be. But I'm putting $500 million of my own money into this transaction. I haven't pulled a penny out of GameStop. I've invested a lot of money into GameStop. I've been doing it for a long time. GameStop's a much stronger business today. Everyone hates GameStop, and it seems like everyone in the media basically wants us to fail and wants them to succeed. And you've got a board that's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They don't buy stock with their own money. They end up showing up to a handful of board meetings, and they're making a fortune. You've got a management team that is grossly overpaid.
No, he's killing it. He's ripping it. He's ripping into everyone. All of the media. You know why? Do you know why? And eBay's management. Do you know why? Because it's the same egotistical art collectors that cannot accept that they were wrong about games. Same people. That's why I reference ego. He mentioned ego in it multiple times. You know, Ken Griffin buying the Constitution copy, all this other crap he's bought. I don't even know. I don't care about Ken Griffin exactly, but it's the same type of mentality. The same people that own the media, own all the global management, owns Yahoo Finance. You know why they want them to win? Because private equity, Paul Pressler is the CEO. Okay, and by the way, private credit fund redemptions, private equity redemptions, not doing so hot. Investors here, I got 17,530. Those are the numbers. So 17% of their funds, of their total funds, have been requested for redemption. Okay, and out of the 17% of the funds, they capped each individual investor to a 5% cap. And not only that, not only are they only capping, the investors are wanting their money back, right, from private equity, because over 5 years it's just been sitting, nothing's been happening. They haven't seen an investment worthy enough to put the cash in. And so investors are like, okay, it's been 5 years since 2021, give me my money back. Okay, so they're like, whoa, hold up. Redemptions can only be capped to 5%, you know, so we can only give back 5%, but they can't even do that. They've only given back 30% of the redemption request. So 100% redemption request, they're only able to fulfill 30% of it at a 5% redemption cap. So they need money because investors are asking for money back. And with the rate hikes coming, people that they lend money to won't be able to keep up with the interest rates because it's a floating interest rate. It goes along with the interest rates. So when a rate hike comes, private equity gets hurt. So that's what's going to happen. Consumers, by the way, normally I do the global stuff in the end. I think we're good to close, but consumers, savings, let's see. Somewhere. Consumer savings has plunged, saving rate falling to 2.6. So consumers are spending more than they are saving. So that is a bad recipe for disaster because that in turn starts economic slowdowns. And with economic slowdowns, people are not able to afford products. So what happens is the Fed raises interest rates so that businesses lower prices because it becomes harder to borrow. So people can't pay as much. So in turn, GameStop's going to be it, man. And Ryan Cohen, the way I see it, international sellers, he's going to know all the unit economics, all the tariff economics, all the cross-border taxes. He's going to know everything. He's going to run it efficiently. He's going to run it beautifully. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I got to bounce, guys. Sorry I couldn't read the chat, but let me see. I really got to bounce. Yo, I see Smokey, GME Power Ranger, Ricky B. Loco, Jay Crispy, what's up? Okay. Technical difficulties. I hope it came through smooth. Jesse, what's up, man? Hope you all are well. I really got to bounce. I got to go to my daughter's basketball. Peace.